extremely unexpected, and now he has the chance in the top 8 against Doflamingo.
Yes, we will be heading straight into the match. It's going to be Shane versus Shane, highlighting their black purple Luffy, which is really not a meta pick if you ask players around here. And of course, the coveted blue Doffy that has been around since the dawn of time, but has so much representation and play time ever since the new ST was introduced. Anyway, we go to the simple Perona here. Looks like it's going to be arranged. We do see not a lot of Shichibukai to be caught, but we do see the perfume. We do see the Blackbeard. Very decent start, I assume.
Yes, and we can see from his top 5 cards that there are quite a few tech cards that he runs. We can see that he has the Red Rock as well as the Pudding, which not everybody may run inside their Doflamingo deck. And we did manage to take a quick look at both players' deck list before the match started, and we know that Chew, piloting the Doflamingo, also runs the Gravity Blade as well.
Yes.
Usually Doflamingo players opt to choose either between the Gravity Blade and Red Rock, but we can see Chew here not taking any chances, deciding to play the both of them, and yeah. So quite a unique deck list here, and as you can see, okay, he's done arranging, and it's back to Shane's turn, who just proceeds to put 3 Dawn on his Law to swing for 5.
Yes, that's really unfortunate, because I believe that he wants to play the 3-cost 5k Zoro that allows him to reduce his Dawn and then add back 2 Dawn up with the leader effect. Unfortunately, he's unable to do that, so we just do a simple swing of 5 and a 5. Back to Chew's turn right here. Chew just know what is in the top of his deck. He does have the Blackbeard in hand. Is just deciding what to do. I think in this situation, because you're fighting a 4 life leader, as a Doffy player, you probably want to go aggressive on the face.
And we can see that Chew is doing just that here, calling the 2-cost Teach. Another addition from the ST that has made this deck extremely powerful.
Really powerful. It's one of those cards where we just, at first glance, why are we minusing so hard? Why are we like reducing our hand size? But once utilized efficiently, it is one of the scariest things that you can ever use in a deck, because as you can see, you can guarantee your call. So he's going to call Jinbei into a Weaver right here. And that's it, Josh. Look at this. This is a menacing board with Weaver, a Jinbei, everything right here. And like, Chew's hand isn't really that low to begin to actually compare, because like he draws one from the Weaver. This is what makes the deck so scary. Like, all you do is just have the Blackbeard right there, and then every turn if you play a unit down, that's like a normal turn, right? But those rested Dawn could be attached to the leader, so you can use the leader effect. And is you're going to see that tech card from the BP Luffy.
Yep, we can see here that Shane plays down the top knot. This is a pretty...
Wait, 4 copy.
He plays 4 copies of this top knot inside his purple Luffy deck. This is actually a pretty old card, if I'm not mistaken, from OP03. Basically minusing 2 Dawn to send a 4-cost or lower character to the bottom of the deck, and synergizes really well with this leader, since when you minus 2 Dawn, you're able to get back 2 Dawn, 1 standing and 1 rested. So, and also since it's 2 costs, he's able to quickly remove characters that the Doflamingo is able to put out with the assistance of the 2-cost Teach. So, typical Doflamingo play was like as we saw earlier, using the Teach to put the Jinbei on top, getting down the Weaver, but then Shane able to quickly respond using the top knot and then using his remaining Dawn to swing into the rested unit.
Exactly. I do believe that Shane's build is really heavily tech for Doffy. We can see playing the ST14 Black Sanji, which is it is a standard card in the deck to begin with, but some people have removed it and whatnot. But he plays 4 right here, and then he do run at least 3 of the Rush Sanji, a card that you can just rest a character and remove opponent's rested unit because he has Rush. So it is really heavily tech for Doffy in my opinion, but we will see what Shane does. And Doffy, once again, just proving why is it such a menace, being able to just spam you. Look at it, this is like 2 5k units just like that. Just like that, because of the power of Teach, allowing you to pay 4 for your normal cost and then putting 2 Dawns into the Doffy and using his leader effect. You can see right here the Sanji instantly utilized right here. 7k into the Jinbei. Jinbei is get removed, and then the Sanji KOs the Boa.
Yep, in order to be able to use the Sanji, you will require to have a 6
Six
cost
cost.
character on board. But with the assistance of the Black Purple Luffy leader's skill, which with the Dawn attached, all your characters gain a cost. He himself becomes 6 costs, and thus enabling his skill to be able to KO a 5 cost or below character.
Exactly, that just shows the synergy of how this card works with Black Purple Luffy. In the past, this card was, we all knew it was good. We all knew Sanji was good. Like who wouldn't want a card that can KO a 5 cost? But it was the 6 cost condition that was hard. But with this leader, it enables him to be played with just having one Dawn attached to the leader. And when you see, this is going to be, I believe, an 8k swing from the Moria.
Yep, looks like it's a 3 Dawn on Moria, 8k swing here.
Chu is going very aggressive right here.
Chu is being extremely aggressive here, and Shane is really considering if he should take this. Being a 4 life deck, you know, you want to be a little cautious. You don't want to go too low, especially we know that because most Doflamingo decks do run at least 2 perfume.
Out to 1, and then he's going to swing 9k leader calling a crocodile from the top of the deck. This does create a very decent board, not as scary as the previous turn, but it does create a huge amount of pressure on Shane, because Shane now is down to 1 life, and from what I'm looking at, there are not a lot of blockers in the deck. The only one is the iconic Frankie blocker, which he do run, but the thing is, if you do play the Frankie blocker, you are locked out from other things. That means you won't be able to play your Kaido, you won't be able to tempo other cards. So it will be interesting to see if Shane wants to guard this 9k leader. And
he does
do
4
it.
cards with a 2 and 3 ones. Doesn't want to go to 0 here because he knows the threat of perfume, especially with the Teach already on board, able to swing for 15k with the leader.
Yes, I do think that this is a great understanding with Shane.
17 actually.
Yes.
With the addition of the Teach.
Yes, with the Shane, with the Teach skill is really, really big. I think this is a great understanding from Shane, knowing that, well, it is a very hard decision to make, right? Throwing around 4 cards just to preserve that 1 life. But it's probably the only way you are in the game right now. If you don't, you probably are out of the game, I believe, because it does give you the perfume range, and being at 0 life, right, means you are going to be playing defensively, blockers, leaving up 1 Dawn for your Gum Gum Giant. But being at 1 life means you can still, you know, have some window to play down cards like Moria right now. So we are going to see a Moria. It is going to be a Frankie. It is going to be a Lord. Those are the few cards that he tossed away to guard those attacks. So he is going to use the Law first to grab another Frankie. Great. And then probably using the Frankie skill, teaching 1 to draw 2. What an amazing card Frankie is.
Yes, Frankie is such an extremely versatile card, you know, being able to regain back resources in addition to being a blocker as well. And this is one of the core reasons why this deck plays the 8 cost Moria, because he's able to recycle this Frankie as well as the searches to regain resources. And with, as we mentioned, the Black Purple Luffy's leader skill with the Dawn attack enabling everything to get an additional 1 cost, this Frankie is currently at 5 cost, thus not enabling the Doflamingo player to use the 4 cost law to return the Frankie to the Black Purple Luffy's hand.
Yes, exactly. That is a key reason why Black Purple Luffy has a very interesting mechanic where it increases the cost of all the units across the board. So like you mentioned, the Frankie will actually be a 5 cost, as you see right here, 6k to the Moria, and passing the turn here. It won't be easy to remove this Frankie. This Frankie is 5 cost, sorry. So the law doesn't work. The only one that comes in mind is probably the Gravity Blade. Gravity Blade works, and of course, Jozu. Jozu still works. But this is interesting. Despite losing 4 cards, I believe, Shane is able to bounce back and recover in this situation. I do think the tempo is now in Shane's favor in terms of the board, but being at 1 life, Josh, I don't think it's really healthy.
Yes, especially like we mentioned earlier with the threat of perfume, we know that Shu runs 2 copies in his deck, but we do see that Shane has left 1 Dawn up, so the possibility of him having the Gum Gum Giant is extremely high. So he would be able to guard, we expect at least 1 big attack that comes from the Doflamingo player. Considering his board isn't exactly the strongest, like you mentioned, having only 1 Crocodile at 5k along with the Perona and the Teach. So we will see what Chu opts to do here.
Probably a really hard turn because Chu has the high ground, I will argue. But the difficulty of having a high ground is deciding how do you want to move forward with this high ground because at any point you can just lose this momentum, and when you fall from a high place, George, you fall very hard. This is what I was worried now that the hand is fine. I think being at 4 or 5 hand, I'm not really sure, but being at 4 hand, yeah, 4 hand right there, is okay. It's not that bad of a situation because you do have 4 life, so you can take a bit of hits from the Sanji, from the Moria, but Shane won't let you do it so easily. Shane will probably be aiming for your characters that are rested, and if you're going to attack with that crocodile right there, you're just removing one hand. You're creating pressure. But Shane's unit will be able to swing into the crocodile next turn.
Yes.
So this situation, Chiu need to execute a plan where he can apply enough pressure to make Shane toss a lot of cards in his hand and also develop a stronger board for Shane to answer. So with that limited amount of hand, which is first 4, and that limited scenario he can do, I don't know if Chiu has the resources. We didn't even see any of the Chu. Do you remember any of Chu's hand?
I don't recall seeing the cards in Chu's hand, but like you mentioned before, it's down to the last 4 cards, and the possible plays he has could be limited here. We see, okay, he does have the red rock. He does opt to go for more of a removal play this turn, opting to clear the Moria. So the possibility of developing a stronger board this turn still exists due to having the 2 cost each. So is opting to swing for 7 for the crocodile. He definitely wants to try to get the Frankie from Shane. So Shane is considering. You can see that Shane's hand has accumulated quite a lot of no counter cards as well. So the opportunity to use this Gum Gum Giant to ditch some of them and change his hand. That definitely helps there, getting the Usohachi and the Frankie, which are able to cycle away some of the no-show cards again the following turn.
Yes,
definitely is very, very useful.
We are going to see the Black Bear Meat utilized, and we're going to see a Jinbei right here, and he's not going to call, he's going to block straight away, moving back to Shane's turn. The tempo now swings back to Chu's favor.
You can see he gets the Gum Gum Giant yet again here.
Very important card.
Yeah, very, very important card. Especially we can see that from his deck list, there are quite a number of cards with no counters.
Yes,
so
exactly.
The ability to cycle through the deck and retrieve those counters while ditching the cards with no counters is very important with the Gum Gum Giant. So we'll see what Shane opts to do this turn. Maybe he'll go for a second Moria if he does have it in his hand. We can't exactly see. But alright, choosing to go for 1 down to his leader, 6 swing into the crocodile. Chu only has like 2 cards left in his hand, so most likely isn't going to go to guard these things.
Yes,
so
exactly. So
this pretty much becomes a semi-free turn for Shane, but he will definitely need to put down some blockers and try to avoid going to 0.
Yes, exactly. So we do see here the Frankie being played again, ditching the top notch, probably opting that we don't need it anymore. Oh, that's not. I don't think that's a really good draw. I do see Sanji again. Probably will just play the Sanji down. Yes, and then KOing the Blackbeard, removing the value calling that has been generated so many turns ago. So it's back to Chu's turn right here.
You can see Chu does have the red rock again. Maybe he'll just opt to, depending on the top 3 cards of his deck, if there's nothing that great, he could just opt to red rock the Frankie and then jam with the leader, because as we can see, he does have the powerful in his hand. He just needs to get Shane to 0, and the all likelihood is that he will be able to win the game from there.
Yes. So for now, Chu's mindset is just I need to get to 0, like you say, because the moment Shane is at 0, I can just perfume and try to win the game. And then in Shane's mindset, I cannot go to 0. If I go to 0, I just lose the perfume. My blockers are no longer useful in that sense. However, Shane seems to be able to maneuver this turn really well. So it really depends. So is that 7?
That is, yep, 7, a 7k swing from the Perona here.
Yes, asking Shane for 2 cards in hand, a 2k counter and a 1k counter. And just go for an 8k swing right here. Top deck, it is going to be Mihawk just gonna block it away, passes the turn back to Shane. Shane loses about a blocker and 2 cards in hand last turn. You do see the Moria right here. This is gonna be huge. The Moria is able to generate more value by calling the Frankie and the Law again. Just going to attach 6k to the Mihawk. And now he can actually take a dip into Chill's life.
Yes, now he would be able to push a little bit of life here because, like as we can see, Chill still on 4 life here, and in order to win the game, he does have to get Chill to 0.
Yes.
He can't be hitting just the characters forever.
Yes, you can't just hit the characters forever, starving them forever, you know.
So right now, since he did manage to clear all the attackers, he would be able to get a swing in with the remaining Sanji and the leader, most likely forcing Chu to take at least one. Oh, but instead, interestingly, aiming to clear the Piranha as well.
I guess he's playing it very safe.
Instead playing it very safe, and then we're going
to see the Moria right here.
Yet again, is most likely going to go to the Frankie and the Law once again to get more resources and just drag the game out a little longer. We can see he also left one Dawn up, so he would be able to use the Gum Giant instead.
Exactly, so he's just gonna ditch away the cards. He probably just searched the Zoro, and drawing 2 cards. Let's say a 2k counter and a 1k counter. That's excellent right there, allowing him to have. You can see a bit of smile from Shane's face right there, looking at those draws. And just to the past turn with 2 Gum Giant in hand, just to create a bit of pressure, I believe. But Q right now, this is what I meant. Like you were at such a high ground, and now suddenly out of nowhere you lose almost your entire board. There's just a cute buggy there sitting doing nothing. You are staring against a 6k, 6k, 9k, and a blocker, and your opponent hand is pretty big, I say.
Yeah, definitely. Shane, having managed to use the Moria, get the Frankie and the Law down, managed to cycle through his deck once again, ditching, like as you mentioned, more of the no counter cards, and accumulated quite a lot of counter for himself, established a blocker down as well, and is looking to be in a pretty safe position. And Chu, having just the buggy on board, is in quite a predicament.
I do wonder if there's any outside. Like the thing is, right now you only have 4 hands. You only have 4 hands. The Josu probably can take care of the Frankie or the Sunky, but the Josu doesn't actually answer the card directly. It doesn't bounce it to the bottom or remove it. It bounces back to hand. This means it allows Shane to replay it or use it as a counter. So if you're thinking of, if Chu is thinking of just, I want to remove an attacker, that's fine, because the Sanji's effect only kills 5 costs, I believe, so it won't threaten the Josu. However, if you remove the Frankie in hopes of, I remove the Frankie and then I'm going to attach all the Dawn I have to swing face and hope that he goes to 0. It's a bit difficult because 1, your opponent has a Dawn up, so Gum Giant is active, and the other problem is that you're giving him Frankie back to hand. This means that Frankie can be reused again next turn. So this is really hard in Chu's position. Like, if I am Chu, I'll be scratching my head. I don't know, Josh, what would you think?
Like you said, it's a pretty difficult decision for Chu to make here. We can see from his hand there is a couple of lines of play here. Could go for the Josu, get his own buggy back to hand and return the Frankie. Could go for the Red Rock and just jam into the leader as well. So we will see what he opts to go for here. We can see that he is separating like 6 and 4.
6 and 4.
It is definitely going to be something along the lines of either the Josu or the Red Rock, plus jamming with the leader. He knows that he can't allow Shane to accumulate even more hand than he already has, so he most likely has to jam instead of dropping down like maybe the Weevil and just swinging for 5, which would be easy for Shane to gut.
Yes, exactly. Because this is also a timer on Chu. With those Sanji on the board, Chu won't be able to counter those Sanji every turn. Because those Sanjis are 6k. 2k is not something that... Yes, Doffy decks do run a lot of 2k counter. Some even run 12, 14, running less than that. Between the range of 10 to 12. But you can't expect them to have it forever. Especially when Chu is going to be playing maybe 1 or 2 cards this turn. So, we do see... We even see a Weaver right there, maybe you can draw it to outs, but there isn't much.
There isn't much outs, I would say, for Chu here. Even if he does manage to draw into like a law or something,
Yes, exactly.
he wouldn't be able to clear the Frankie because of the 1 Don on the leader,
Yes.
making it a 5 cost. So I think it's definitely going to be a 6 and 4 play, whether the 4 is a unit or jammed on leader,
Yes,
and whether the
exactly.
6 is either a Red Rock or Jozu. I think he would most likely prefer to go for the Jozu right here, since he
Yes.
would be able to get the buggy back, because like as you mentioned,
Mm.
both those Sanji swinging for 6 every turn
It's
is
not-
starting to take its toll.
Yes,
It is
correct.
starting to hurt with,
It's starting to hurt a
especially
bit.
since
It's-
Chu is
oh,
gonna,
it's just a draw first.
interesting, he
Interesting.
decides to go for the Weevil first,
Perona.
and then go
Oh,
for the Perona.
this means he's locking away from the 6 Dawn plays. This means 5 Dawn, which means very likely we'll see the leader effect as well. Well, we do see a decent top 5, I would say. There are a number of Shichibuka you can call. There is the Weaver for you to draw. Unfortunately, the Law won't be able to do much.
Yes. However, this just means that Shane would just be able to block with the
Frankie.
the
Yes.
Frankie, and might just be able to repeat the process again the following turn if he gets another Frankie or has another
Moria.
Moria, perhaps, you know. So it's still extremely tough for Chu here. So he's just rearranging the cards, deciding
Chu
on
knows
what
that-
he will be looking to call with the leader ability. He's already used 4 Don for the Weevil, 1 Don for the Perona, and only has 5 remaining. So even if he does, for example, call a Weevil to draw into another unit, there won't be any Don remaining to call said unit.
Yeah, I do think that Chu just understand that he won't lose next turn. Because of the life, you have 3 life, you have a decent amount of hand, your opponent won't really go for game here. So I think Chu is just understanding, okay, I can buy another turn, try to remove that Frankie just by swinging in, and hopefully he stops calling those Frankie, because those Frankies are really annoying. So it just goes back to Shane right now. Shane in a really, really high tempo position, having 2 6k units, 9k bodies, creating so much tempo advantage. Even that Weaver Rester doesn't feel threatening out. Is that a swing in, I believe, to the Weaver?
Yep, he's going for a 6k swing into the Weevil. We will see what Shane has planned this turn. Considering that he is swinging into the Weevil, he is
Drops the Jozu.
fairly confident that he will be able to play for another turn. So
Shane is just I think Shane is just exhausting all of Chu's hand right now. And he does actually eventually get that Weaver. Moria just swings into the life.
we'll be playing down the third
Sanji right there.
KO this.
And playing
And
that
then
Frankie.
there we go, that Frankie is
right
here
there.
yet again.
Yet again, taking 1 card from the hand, being able to draw. And he does have another Gum Gum Giant hand. There's another Gum Gum Giant, so we know Shane is not in any worry at all for even the next turn. If he just use the Gum Gum on Chu's turn, he's fine. There's another Gum Gum in turn. So he's in a really, really, really good position right now. And staring on the face of Doffy, only a Perona and a Buggy versus 3 Sanji, 1 Frankie, and 1 Gecko Moria.
Yeah, it's pretty much gonna be game the following turn, I assume, for Shane.
Yes.
With this level of board state, and having the Frankie blocker on board makes it almost impossible for Chu to be able to close the game out, even with a double Parfum.
It's almost perfect, I would say.
Yeah.
This is probably the perfect scenario for not just Black Purple Luffy, but any type of deck in general. You have your attackers, you have your blockers, you have your defensive tool, you have your game setup next turn. It's just perfect scenario for Shane right now. I think Shane will probably be really, really comfortable. And for Chu, he's going to try his hardest to see how he can salvage this situation. We do see the Boa being played to check the top 3 and rearranging it.
Yep, just rearranging the top of his deck here. Most likely, I would assume he would just aim to jam here. Yep. Just trying to get out the counters from his hand, trying to force
something out of Shane, because we do understand that Black Purple Luffy, or just Purple in general, do have a lot of fake hands where you can see their hand is big, but sometimes they just do a 1k, 2k, or 0 at all. Like maybe you can see like out of 7 hands, there's only maybe 2 that has counter. And we do see a G-Main to the law, probably, Wait, did they just bounce the? I think. I think they
maybe
forgot it.
both of the players. Ah, okay.
Yeah, okay, that's correct,
Yeah,
right there.
yeah,
Yes,
that is
yes.
correct. They
Yes,
both
yes.
realized that. Yeah,
They both
that
realized
Frankie is.
Yes, that
at
Frankie
5 cost.
is 5 cost. For those that are not aware, again, we have specified this a lot of time, right? That the leader effect is basically, if you have 1 Dawn attached to it, everything plus 1 cost. So that means that Frankie just now was 5. That Law is unable to bounce that card because Law's effect is bouncing only 4 costs under. So we do see a simple 7k swing is coming in. It's going to go in very hard. 7k leader asking Q, it's time for you to show me what you have in your hand to defend yourself.
Probably checking for the top knot here. Looking that basically already, I think 3 are out.
Probably just trying to survive at this point.
Top knot, and actually not just top knot, but Usohachi would also be able to do this. So Chu is just considering if he were to want to block this turn. However, I think irregardless of whether he blocks or not, it does look pretty dire for Chu at the moment, having only like 3 cuts in his hand, and we as the viewers know what they are.
Yes.
So
let's
let's
look
see
very
if
dangerous.
Yep, Shane's just going to continue with the momentum of swinging 7. Swinging those magic numbers.
Yes, asking, do you have a 2-1?
Trying to call the bluff, you know, see whether Chu really has 2-1.
Oh,
yep, so
now it's just a magic number
7
game.
again.
7 is guaranteed because only have 1 hand.
Yep,
9 is guaranteed. And going into the hold. He's just hesitating. Is it okay? Yeah, just going to go in, and
there we go.
Shane takes the game confidently against Chu's Doffy. Congratulations, Shane, moving forward into the top 4. Yes, a bit unexpected deck. Black, purple, Luffy.
Yes, and we can see how